Hello everyone and welcome to Connor Spit Tier 1. My name is Thomas, next to me is Lewis and we're here in Australia for the Australian Grand Prix. Like I said, Lewis is in the commentary box with me. How are you doing, bro?
I'm all good. Good evening, everyone. We're back in Aussie, down under. Yeah, very well, thank you. We're nearly at the end of the week, and yeah, looking forward to this race. It's always, I think the change they made around this circuit do. I actually, obviously, it was a bit more of a challenge, the old circuit, but I actually do like the flow, and for racing, it's good fun. I expect a really good race today. I do expect safety cars as always. Maybe not quite as many as last week because last week was a bit of a joke. But yeah, really looking forward to today.
Yeah, you literally just pointed out what I wanted to say at the start of the stream as well. Obviously, we've had it not for the first time now, but the new layout compared to the OGs who've been playing this game and have been part of Condos of Speed for some years now. They know or knew the old layout very well, and now with the well, a little bit more of a straight part of Sector 2, I think it provides a lot more overtaking possibilities, where in the past these races maybe were a bit more boring than others, or were like most likely to be boring, um, as it was like really hard to make an overtake with the corners placed where they were. It was hard to, when you not get a perfect exit, to get alongside the car and make the move. Maybe on the start finish straight going into turn 1, but that was mostly about it. The fact that they added the second DRS zone as well after turn 2 made it already better. But now with the very long third DRS zone as well, it's like
Yeah,
crazy how much it provides overtaking. So yeah, let's see. And yeah, let's just pray for a lot of overtakes and a lot less safety cars, like you already said, Lewis.
yeah. I actually think about like I actually prefer driving this circuit. Before they made the changes, I I didn't actually kind of. It's a very unique circuit. But I didn't really. It was tougher. Definitely, I'd say it was the harder because the corners. There's areas now that you don't need to brake as technically, but it just felt a bit quick. Whilst now it's got the section before that now DRS zone, the long DRS zone, which is really the main place where you can overtake. Um, I like the fact that corner before is now really fast, and it means you've got to get the line right, otherwise you lose quite a bit of time there. They made the changes to the parts of the circuit I think they needed to do, and having that long, although it's not a straight, but it's very much a straight. It's a long area where you are on the throttle. In my race on Monday, people with DRS and using their energy, they can really come at you from nowhere. Um, I make the move, but because it's not a straight, you can still defend and make it tricky. But then you're straight away following another DRS zone to finish the job in that right-hander, and that right-hander has been made tight, and that's a really tricky corner because it's now tight. You you've got to be committed, and what I learned is you can't hang around the outside. You got to, if you try and make a move around the outside, it's just not possible.
Yep.
So yeah, it's I really enjoy it.
Yeah, also I think, like you've mentioned, being on the throttle a lot more during the lap, I think it also makes you very vulnerable for using a lot of ERS in the first couple of laps. We've seen
Yeah,
people trying, when they were on the softer compound, then trying to like break away and try to get outside of the 1 second window to not give your opponent DRS after lap 3. And I think people trying that now and not succeeding will have a very hard time getting that energy back, where if the people are smart enough to save a little bit more of ERS, it could really challenge the ones who are going to have to deal with it. Like you said, Lewis, you can really
yeah.
make it work with the DRS, with the ERS and the slipstream to make a move even on multiple cars if needed. So yeah, it would be very smart for these guys to save a little bit more than they maybe used to do at other Grand Prix.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It was it's not the worst circuit, but yeah, you do struggle to save if you've dumped a lot of your energy very early on. I expect the quick top guys like Vaporizer, they don't tend to use a lot of energy. They save it for that for when it matters. But yeah, it's just a good track, and I found with the new handling with this game, finally, the fast turns, what now is known, I suppose, turns 9 and 10, the left and right hander before the final DRS zone. It's now nowhere near as easy to lose the rear end when you go into turn 10. It was always a well-known thing, especially on heavy fuel load. You go on the exit, the back end just steps out, and everyone spins on the inside wall. That it still can be possible, but it's I never had a real moment off that. And I think they've changed turn 9, not turn 10, but turn 9 is kind of opened more. It's not so tight, so you can commit quite a lot of speed into turn 9, but at the same time you try not to, because otherwise it compromises you for turn 10. But I found with the new model, a handling model where you have so much grip in high speed corners, it's just you don't get that issue anymore like you did in previous games. But however, Sector 3 is tricky with the low grip on these cars.
As you were explaining that, equals Jace in the floor, you went through the far chicane and he literally almost lost it. It would have been probably one of the best clips ever if you have been talking about that for like the last 2 minutes, and then once you're finished with the part about the far chicane being easier to handle, just losing it out. That would have been the best ever. But luckily for him, he kept it on track. But yeah, Sector 3, like you say, is definitely trickier now with the lower speed and less grip for these cars in those kind of conditions.
Now, what I would say is that it can happen. It's just easy. It's much less likely to happen. The only way I can now see it happening is if you clip the curb on that turn 10 too hard. Whilst in the past, it was more of a case of just like sort of carrying too much speed made you spin. Whilst now it's more because the cars are so glued. It's if you clip that curve wrong on turn 10 with the right hander, that's what makes you. That can give you the rear end slipping around. But he didn't crash, so maybe in the previous game he would have crashed. But yeah, it's not impossible. It's still absolutely possible to do. Yeah. Oh, in fact, I saw a yellow there, an Alpine coming out of Sector 10. I don't know what Alpine it was. I don't know. It was.
No, I think it's an.
Oh, Williams. Might have been a Williams.
Yeah, I think it's PW Jones coming into the pits after selling his lap time. Currently on board with Vaporizer. He just lost his pole position to the Alpine in P1 now with a 116.6. Vaporizer being on a 116.7 now going through Sector 2 up to the fast left-right chicane. Oh, but he's down on his previous lap time by 10 thousandths of a second. So he needs to find that little bit more for Sector 3 if he wants to get his McLaren back on pole position. Now entering Sector 3. Also this corner has changed, opened up a lot more like Lewis already mentioned, which is also making it a lot better to go side by side. Last 2 corners, pit entry on the right hand side through the final corner. It wasn't looking like your usual Vaporizer lap, and I don't think it's going to be pole position. No, it's not. He improves, but not enough. 6 thousandths of a second between the Alpine and Vaporizer. That's very close.
Crazy. That it's close up front, and it is a close track. Like I said, Sector 2 is not so much of. You can gain quite a bit of time, but it's really Sectors 1 and 3, I feel, are the real technical sections where you can make or break the lap time. So it'll be interesting to see where the differences are. But it's very close up front. Frederick Dawson P3. Goke just got into P4 with a lap of 116.9. So they're getting there.
Let's see, we've got Brazil now coming across the line at 117.8. He won't be happy with that one. We've got Elliott once again invalidating his lap time. He hasn't been able to put a lap on the boards. He now, from what I have seen, invalidated 2 times already. I don't know if it was maybe 3 times, but it's not been the qualifying session Elliott would have hoped for at the start,
Yeah.
which means that his main rivals, Vaporize, Yugoke, and Defoe, now running in P2, P4, and P5, are the ones gaining a little bit of an edge on Elliott. We saw him being dominant and coming from a little bit further back or around Kota, but he had a really strong race around Austria, and that's Lewis, what
Oh,
you were talking about already.
yeah.
But at least
Yeah.
he kept it alive and he can get himself back into the pits, but that was very close.
I didn't watch. I didn't see his. I wonder if he hit that curb, because from my testing, like, I was able to correct it. But if I ever hit that curb in an awkward position and still tried to be on the throttle, yeah, in qualifying. Oh, he spun off big time, and now he is out. He's
No
just
way.
absolutely lost it. Yeah, his car's a bit laggy as well on my feed. But yeah, he just absolutely lost it. So, yeah, Elliott is out. Matty's not gone out yet. Still in the pits currently. Everyone's in the pits ready for their final run. Apart from ZNY. Q. Dash, dash, dash. Always like saying his full name at least once. I just find it funny. ZYQ dash, dash, dash. I think he's going in the pits. Yeah, it's the dash. I think it's the dash, 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 to be fair.
Yeah, what
Just
else
imagine
could it
that.
be?
Yeah. It's not
Like if
underscore.
he now pops into the chat and says something which makes total sense, then yeah, I just give up. Like like something like, oh, how didn't you think about that? But I can't imagine it other than being a dash dash dash,
Yeah.
which sounds brilliant to be honest. Thinking about it,
Yeah. Dash, dash, dash.
dash dash dash.
He's. I mean, we're waiting for him to get a pole position so we can say he is in a dash. He is lightning quick.
Sync
But,
dash dash dash. Sync
yeah.
dash dash dash.
Yeah, there you go. Zinc dash dash dash. That could be number one. I think you could get that number one in the Netherlands. Well,
Let's
Matty's
see.
out.
Matty's out.
He's come out to play.
Get your Matty out. Also not having been able to put a lap on the boards. He doesn't need one. He's got the Mercedes in front, that's Donamo. And we've got the Alfa Romeo. I wanted to say no hard feelings to Matty, but we want to spectate someone actually on a lap. But the Alfa Romeo already invalidated his lap time, probably
AJ?
going too deep into turn one. No spec though.
AJ is doing two. Oh, AJ's going to do 2 laps then. 2 warm-up laps, interestingly.
He's not using
So I
any
think-
ERS now, okay? Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I did try a 2-lap because it being overcast. That first lap, it does struggle to get to the proper temperature you need. That I didn't find really a benefit. But Matty is. It looks like Matty is doing. Yeah, he's doing a 2-lap warm-up. Because
We've
he's
got-
also on 100%. Oh! And the McLaren got in the way there. Hopefully, I mean, he's not on a hot lap anyway. But the Mercedes maybe is behind doing a hot lap. That could be Frederick. No, it's not Frederick. Is anyone doing a hot lap right now? Donamo
No,
is
we've
doing a hot
got
lap.
like from Vaporizer onwards, we have pretty much a whole train of people on their outlap. Everyone who's on the outlap is behind AJ, who is doing his 2 runs.
So Donamo is on a hot lap, and he did a purple sector 1. Currently P11.
You won't believe it.
He's coming towards sector 2. He is 2/10 up on his previous best. So he's not quite in the purple now, but it's a big improvement for Donamo. Very strong first sector, very good middle sector. Looks tidy so far. Going through the section, I like that right-hander before the final 2 corners.
Ooh, terrific.
Slip his part. Oh, I think he'll be alright though. He'll get a bit of slipstream. heads towards the line. Yeah, he's going to get a really good toe here to help him down the line. It's an improvement. He did lose a bit in that last sector though, but it's got him into the top 10.
Vaporizer also purple sector 1, a 10th up, exactly a 10th, which means that currently he is on pole position. Well, what can the Alpine do, who's now currently in P1, 6 thousandths of a second separates these two drivers. And he's almost 2 tenths up through sector 2, and he goes all out through the fast chicane. Saw him a little bit losing the back end, but it was all good now through the right-hander. Everything uses everything available on the track. Fast right-hander commits through there as well, and this is what we're talking about, saying a vaporizer lap on the limit, on the edge, but hitting every single apex with the DRS open, use of ERS as well, on towards the line. Vaporizer puts in a 116.3, but what can the Alpine do? The Alpine is almost a 10th up through sector 2, so he needs to find something more if he wants to take this pole position away from Vaporizer. Goke improves to P3, AJ improves to P5, equals Jace goes up to P6, Defoe into the pits, couldn't improve. Can the Alpine improve through the final turn? He goes currently on a 116.654. Vaporizer with 116.3. It's a 116.7. No improvement. It's Vaporizer on pole position.
Yeah, and I think maybe he got held up by the Williams through turn 9 and 10. I think that Williams got in the way. So unfortunately, it's it may be, because he was slightly up. But we'll see. We'll see what he says in the chat. But yeah, Vaporizer. That's it. I think this is his first pole position of the season.
That's a bold statement.
I mean, he hasn't had many.
Fair.
Because there's generally been some really good drivers in qualifying. Race pace wise, Vaporizer's always been there. But that looks almost. That's decent. Quarter of a second up on your nearest rival.
Yeah, but other than that, look how competitive the field is once again. Top 12 within a second of each other, with Spectre and Brisen in P13 and P14 literally on a second. So yeah, it's looking really good for the race. Matty hasn't been able to put in a competitive lap time. Same goes for the Elliott and Jack Hawkey, for knowing him, and he has quite a reputation in calls. That's not the typical Jack Hawkey lap time. He should be up a little bit higher, but yeah, really interesting qualifying session, and if it's anything to go by, we will get a very interesting race as well. Sunny conditions for the race as well. Literally a totally different situation than what we had last week, where it was pouring it down through qualifying around Canada. It was actually really good in the race though. So, but then we had a safety car every 3 laps pretty much. So yeah, let's see if it can be a very, very good race this time round. A little bit less safety car, a little bit more overtakes would be great. Lewis, I saw on social media, little plug, if you don't follow us on Instagram, make sure you do that to keep up to date with all the results and stuff happening in Corners of Speed. Also check out our Twitter. Corners of Speed should be enough to find it. Lewis, I saw you picked up a podium, which means that you know what to do with the strategy. Give us an update. What is the preferred strategy around here?
5 stops and a shot. And a shot of whiskey. No,
tell that to Kjerbo, who did 11 pit stops last week.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that strategy didn't work. Now it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna look at their tires. Now I started on the hard. It's a one-stop strategy, unfortunately. If there's no safety car, however, do we believe that it's gonna happen today? Highly not. Now it's interesting. We have got a mix in the top 3 here. I chose to start on the hards because I wanted to be able to extend and either have the option of a medium tyre at the end or a soft. The thing is, if you used all 3 softs in quali, you're not going to have a new soft to use. So it's very much hard to medium, and there is a big drop-off in speed. So when you do put the new tyre on, it's a massive improvement. But both tyres, in terms of when you stop, if you stop on the medium, it's only really a couple of laps earlier than the people who are starting on the hards. So you can see people who are starting on the medium, the pit stop strategy will be lap 14. If you're starting on the hard, honestly, lap 15, lap 16. So these guys are going to be pitting very similar times. So the wear rate on the hard is better, but because of performance and the race distance, it's not worth going too long on the hard tyre to then have a great medium. It's not actually the faster strategy. The faster strategy is to get off the hard tyre around lap 15, 16, and then get on the medium. If you start on the medium, lap 14, or even maybe earlier if you want to get that undercut advantage. Because, to be fair, with the hard tyre, it's a good performing tyre. It will last throughout that stint pretty well.
Yeah, Lewis,
I expect Vaporize to do well.
Yeah, I think so as well. I just want to point out that I'm really looking forward to see what Elliot is going to be doing on that soft at the start of the race. Like, don't be surprised if you see him, like, within 2 laps being inside the top 10.
He'll be strong, but the soft tyre does drop away very quickly round here.
Yeah, that's why I think he's going to be so aggressive, but fair, but still aggressive, that he will manage himself up through the field and then go on to the hards and then praying for not to be a safety car and just driving his own pace. But we have to find out. We can see the field from the back. We've got 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix. It's a good start from Vaporizer. It's the best start from the Alpine, as Frederick is already along the outside, and they make contact. And the Alpine is round. We've got a yellow flag. It's Vaporizer's out.
Yeah. He's hit the wall, and yeah, that is shades of real life F1. That turn is such a notorious corner for lap one, turn 1 accidents, and we saw it this year in the safety car restart. And Vaporizer is out already in the opening lap, and this has made this race go wide open now. But the top 2 from the start, one is out and the other one is right at the back of the field.
This is absolutely crazy. And now Frederick, the one starting in P3, is now leading the race. It's like sort of your Verstappen around Barcelona type beat, where the 2 people in front crashing, you're in P3, now suddenly in the lead, and you have to hold off everyone behind who sees an opportunity to maybe get a victory in this season as well. Elliot must be cheering, knowing that one of his main rivals is out of this race. But what a heartbreaking moment for Vaporizer. He showed some brilliant qualifying speed once again. He was really up there, and then, well, it was really strange because he was on the outside. It was not that he got shut the door on or something. Like, he was on the outside. They made contact and he just lost it, I assume. Like, I was on board with the Alpine, so I couldn't see it. Really strange and heartbreaking for Vaporizer.
From what I mean, look, from the broadcast view, it looked just like the Alpine wasn't alongside enough, and I don't know whether that Vaporizer went onto the apex or gave him room, but the problem is these tyres, I mean, they're on the mediums, so the tyres should have been alright, but it's heavy fuel load, and I'm guessing the Alpine, what the problem was the Alpine had the Mercedes next to him, and he didn't want to brake too early because then the Mercedes or Frederick could have tried hanging around the outside. So I think he was in an awkward position to try and brake and not too early, but you have to be so precise because the driver ahead of you, who's obviously is also on a hard tyre, so he's not going to have the same grip. He made his position. Now I couldn't see whether Vaporizer gave him a bit of space, but ultimately there was contact made. Both spun around, but Vaporizer, his spin was like not as quick, so it just dragged him to the inside wall, and that is why we got him out. And a safety car, which I would expect to be coming in this lap. Matty is already pitted, but he will catch up the back of this field. So I expect the safety car the sign will come out. Even if he gets to towards the turn 11. As soon as Matty joins, the safety car can give a late coming in lap unless it's just a bit too late. But we've seen it before. No, safety car's going to stay.
Ah, shame.
Yeah, just Matt, you didn't quite get there quick enough. So there's another lap. But
David
if you're on
Matty.
the mediums or
Yeah,
softs,
you're happy now.
yeah. Well, it just gives you a couple more laps. But then again, it does help the hard runners, because the hard runners as well, the medium runners aren't pulling away from them. It's three laps where the mediums have their true advantage. So it kind of really doesn't it doesn't help anyone other than
Elliot.
actually I think the soft runners it doesn't help. Soft. Oh, I thought you went for softs there.
Yeah, Elliot switched to medium, so
Wasn't he already on mediums? Elliot was already on mediums.
Elliot started on the softs.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Ah, yes. Sorry, he did. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm thinking of the other Alpine driver. I'm allowed to say his name, but I'll say Max. Yeah, so Elliot is, he's on the medium. And that's what I was thinking, because that's the only people that's really not. Well, I suppose it does help. But if I was Elliot, I would have gone on the hards now and just sort of go along. But maybe, then again, yeah, medium probably is the better strategy, to be honest, because you are better doing medium, stop, medium, rather than hard tyre and try and get towards the end. So, yeah, Elliott's in a good position, but he has lost track position. Jack Hawkey, though, on those softs, I feel like the fact he hasn't pitted in this safety car period, he's going to lose out ultimately.
Yeah, I think so as well. Safety car now in this lap, you'll have to see it. So Frederick can dictate the tempo. Everyone closing in. Oh my days, that's Jones, I think. Yeah, that was Jones, who had to run onto the gravel to avoid the car slowing down in front. That got very interesting, but no damage done, no penalties handed out, so we are good to go. After an incident into turn 1, we can now finally go back to racing, and I think it's been a very fast restart from Frederick, who has been able to get away by almost a second already, as he is not leaving anything on the table. He said, I see the green flag, I'm out. Let's get this race on the way again.
Absolutely.
Matty into the pits again. Did he then pick up damage?
You must have done. You wouldn't be pitting on the hards normally.
And look at Goke trying to go around the outside of Chase, but he couldn't quite get the job done. So he has to stick behind the Ferrari again. 1.2 seconds already, Lewis, between Frederick and DK.
Yeah. Nice. He's put away well. With Frederick, this is where he can really make the difference. The mediums are, I'd say, about half a second quicker, 6/10 quicker than the hards when they're brand new. But very quickly, I'd say after about 9 laps, the difference is very minimal. But the medium isn't too bad. It's not. By the end of your stint, the mediums are starting to struggle a bit. The hards you can run to lap 20 or more easily. It's just you just lose too much time from the undercut. But yeah, we got a bit of we got 3 hard runners, and then really the majority of the field are on the medium.
The majority of the field on the medium. Really interesting to see what the people on hard can do. Goke is like in a debate now. I think he has been pushing that Ferrari, couldn't get past. Are you going to let your teammate go through with him being on the mediums? Is he going to stay ahead? They need to make sure that they sort of stay within a distance of Frederick, who is on the mediums. We've got DK, Chase and Goke all on the hards. They need to minimize the gap between themselves and Frederick. If they can keep it around 1.3, 1.2 seconds, I think with Frederick going onto the hards and them going onto the mediums, it could be a big advantage. If it gets too big, and if these guys start battling as soon as the DRS gets enabled, it could be a very, very easy walk in the park for Frederick.
Yeah, agreed. And AJ is closing in on Goke, which makes sense. AJ on the medium tyre currently. DRS not activated yet, but it will be once they go across the line. next time by.
And I think we will see a move from Chase as soon as the DRS gets enabled. Now going through the penultimate corner.
Zink has lost connection.
Zink lost connection. Yeah, Jack Hawkey lost connection as well. He luckily got back into the car. DRS now enabled.
Ooh.
So we will see the rear wing of the Ferrari swing open. Try to get past the Haas in front. But he's too far away now.
I saw a Haas driver on the last corner lose it, and he just was able to correct it and avoid hitting the wall the inside of the straight. I don't know if that was Jack Hawkey or Spec Dodo, but it was very close to having a big accident on the inside wall there off the main straight. Jack Hawkey, though, on those softs is going to start to struggle with performance. Even at the end of our race on Monday, it wasn't a brand new set of softs, but by the end of doing 7 laps, or 6 laps, those softs were gone, and you could visibly feel the grip falling away. So,
Chase is putting the pressure on the Haas, who got a little bit slippery out of the fast chicane, and Chase gets past with the help of DRS. We saw him closing in a lot before the fast chicane on the, well, not really the straight, but at least you're keeping your foot on the throttle, and he got past Chase up into P2. DK has to settle for P3. The gap between P1 and P2 now 2.2 seconds actually, as Goke will definitely try and get past the Haas as well, but DK is getting DRS from the back of Chase, and now going into turn 1, coming out of turn 2, could maybe try and see if he can make a move. A 120.7, fastest lap for Elliott. He is on his way for redemption.
Yeah, P12, and he is right on the back of Zink, and he's trying to go around the outside. It was yellow. I think it's okay. Frederick gets 3-second penalty already. Now, it's not really a track. It's not really a track I don't think it's really a track where the only corner where I find it's easy to get a penalty potentially is the corner that before the second DRS.
DK lost it, and he dropped all the way down to P15. Lost it coming out of turn.
Ooh,
and
the Red Bull
6.
Goke had a big moment coming out of turn 10, but fortunately he's had enough of a gap to stay ahead of AJ. Good battles there, and also Elliott's got past now Jack Hawkey. So Elliott has gained 4 places on this lap. P8 now is Elliott.
And I wonder if there has been some contact between Goke and DK, as the gap is now 1.4. They could be down to Goke having to avoid action and then braking, but suddenly there is like a big gap between Goke and Chase. They were all really close.
Yeah, Goke had a moment out of turn 10. The corner I said you're not going to get a moment.
Okay, like that. Okay.
He had it was only a minor one, but he had to back out, and it cost him a second, or just under a second, which is why AJ's right back on him. But Elliott, it just shows you how good the new tyre is for you, because he's only a couple of laps fresher, but it's making all the difference in the pace right now. And he's looking really good.
Interesting to note as well is that the P1 and P2 in this race are already on a 3-second time penalty due to track limits. So that's something to keep in mind. They are pushing the limit but a little bit too far. The rest of the grid will see that as well, of course. They will try to take advantage of it. Red Bulls really need to work together, because AJ is now putting Goke under pressure. He gained a little bit of time back on the Ferrari, but he's now losing it again due to the pressure in sector 3. And like you said, Lewis, Elliott is full in the mix as well. He is now half a second behind, and the Red Bull is into the wall. That's Goke. I already said he was getting put under pressure, and it got a little bit too much for him.
Yeah, he's got going, and there's no safety car, miraculously.
And here comes Elliott on Jacob. Sorry to interrupt, down the inside. Right. And he gets the job done before the braking zone. It's Elliott now up into P6.
What an inspired choice, eh? You know, being able to start on the soft. That is what Jack Hawkey. Now, if you look at it, Jack Hawkey started on the soft. That's what he should have done. He should have pitted during the safety car to have just those 2 laps fresh. That's all. Oh, McLaren had a big moment. That's Jacob. He had a big moment there. I think he avoided hitting the wall, but he had a real tank slapper on that. They're all starting to struggle, which you do with the heavy fuel load. These tyres, the first stint is hard, but when you've got these new tyres, and Elliott gets a 3-second penalty, unfortunately, it's only lap 9. But these guys really committing, and Elliott has a big moment. I wonder if those tyres got a bit overheated now. But he's P6, he's done so well. I think those tyres are a little bit hot and he needs to let them cool down on the rears.
He needs to let them cool down. Was definitely not
cooling
he's
down.
lost it.
Yeah, sorry, Elliott having another big moment there. I think maybe that setup is very pointy.
He's driving the car like Schumacher and Verstappen, like it. More oversteer, but pointy front end.
Well, he's under pressure now. I think whatever's happened, those rears I think are really a bit hot.
And who's under pressure as well as Eagles Jace. AJ, he got himself and the 2 people behind by the likes of Dynamo and Defoe closer to Jace, in fact within 1 second of each other. But AJ now having to defend from Dynamo behind, as they are all getting DRS from the Ferrari in front, which means that AJ can defend himself. And is he actually going on to the attack himself now through the far chicane with the Ferrari in front? I think the gap is a little bit too far, but it's keeping him safe from the 2 people behind, and Elliott will have a big task up his hands to close this gap.
Jay's doing a really good job there on those hards, keeping those medium riders at bay. Just call them drivers, not riders, but the 67% energy compared to AJ's 48 as well for Dynamo. Defoe, absolutely no energy, 100%.
Yeah.
Now 98, but he has just saved his energy being behind here. The fact he's on the hard, he can play the long game. He knows the guys ahead are going to be on the slower tyre in the second half of this race.
Ooh, and here comes AJ with a move down the inside. We can actually see it best from Dynamo on board. But Jay's defends and he stays in front in P2 for now. And this is all allowing Frederick to get further and further away, knowing that he is on a 3-second time, but he at least needs to maintain a gap of those 3 seconds. And being on the harder tyre, like Lewis, you already mentioned before, being on the harder tyre for the second stint, he needs to give himself a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, absolutely. Dynamo really good at all of this. Yeah, around the outside, done it.
And now Jace can maybe come back, although he's probably not going to get any DRS.
And there goes Dynamo.
Oh my days.
They're both using the energy. And he's going to brake really late around the outside. And he's done it. And that is the only way you can do that corner around the outside and making the move stick. You've got to be well ahead of your opponent. AJ taking advantage. Dynamo taking advantage. Oh, AJ has a slide. Those rears have got a bit hot. And now the AlphaTauri Defoe is through. So we've had a complete reverse here. Defoe for Dynamo have got themselves from P4 and P5 to P2 and P3. Jace
here comes Jace.
is down to P5.
Oh,
that's not going to work.
No, the same incident.
And they're out. Red Bull's out. AJ's crashed. There's going to be another safety car. And this is going to work perfectly for the medium runners. Lap 12. If you're Defoe, you're screaming now because, I mean, you could pit now and you could make the mediums last, but they're going to struggle towards the end. Whilst the medium runners, this is like a perfect time now to pit and put the hards on. But that move was never happening. I'm sorry, I was watching, I was like, Jay's was not long enough, not enough alongside, I personally think. The Red Bull gave him room, but the problem is with that corner, you have to go in committed. Oh, Max is speeding. So he's had a terrible race since turn 1, lap 1. But
I think Dynamo is on purpose slowing down a little bit more to give himself that pit stop distance.
Yeah.
Because they are both wanting to stop now, knowing that everyone behind will make it. Because everyone closed in. They were far ahead of everyone else. Oh my Did you see the pit entry from Frederick?
No.
He was so close to the wall on the inside. That was unbelievably close.
Yeah, and Defoe pits, you kind of got to. And Don Ammo, is he
And the
losing any
timing
time?
is almost perfect.
But will he lose to Defoe? Will Defoe still get over? I think Defoe might nick it here. And he does. Oh, no, he doesn't.
He gets...
No, because of ghosting. Don Ammo still just stays out ahead. And everyone does pit that time round as well.
It's very close. So 2 Mercedes at the front of the field. And we've lost 2 people due to a similar incident.
Yeah, turn 1.
But not involved with each other, but with different people.
We got a fascinating situation now because Defoe is on the faster tyre, but it's not going to be the end of the world. You would be looking to pit around lap 15 earliest if you were starting on the hard to go on the medium. So we're going to definitely be doing 2 more laps at least under safety car. So we will be resuming properly at lap 15. You'll be pitting on the hard the end of lap 15. So Defoe is all in a good position here. I think Defoe, Jack Hawkey, Elliott, these guys are all looking really good here. And Fred, the 2 Mercedes drivers, are going to have a bit of work to do.
It's going to be a very interesting second part of this race. We're not even halfway yet, pretty much. Safety car will remain on track for at least another lap. We've got the Alpine having made his... No, not his pit stop. He's still on 7 lap old mediums. He probably tried to take the drive-through penalty, but you can't do that under safety car conditions. DK now will be happy to be back in this race with a fresh set of medium tires. Yeah, the guys who lost out, Goke, who made this incident, he is back into the race. Jace, who got caught up in the incident, still in P10. There were some guys who got very lucky, and I think Elliott can't complain as well. He can now put on a second set of medium tires. Interesting that he not went for the hards. He's put on his second set of medium tires, now in P5. And yeah, don't rule him out yet for a victory in this race.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be fun. Fun. But as we always know, Thomas, safety cars tend to bring more safety cars with it. People making like moves, opportunities. So it's the time where you can really take advantage. I do expect we got one more guy to join the snake, and yeah, I think he will catch up well in time. So I expect the safety car to come in at the end of his lap. And we can get back to racing.
Ooh, Goke
the halfway
losing
point.
a position to Matty.
Oh.
Goke getting it back from Matty. What is going on there?
Very strange.
Now, is
trying to
the
warm
safety
his
car
time.
coming
Yeah.
in this lap? Yes, it is. You love to see it. So, at pretty much the halfway point in this race, well, I think exactly, because we're in between lap 14 and 15. Exactly halfway through this race, we're going to get green flag conditions. Frederick had a really good restart last time out when the safety car was out. Let's see if he can repeat the same thing now with his teammate behind. Don't know if they are in a voice chat with each other, but Frederick is gonna go at pretty much exactly the same spot like he did last time ago, and he's already a second clear. His restarts have been phenomenal so far. Yep, outside of that 1 second window already, and Frederick is gone.
Defoe is going to be looking good though. Defoe is close, right on the back of that Mercedes. He's going to try and get a really good turn 1 and 2 here. The Mercedes looks pretty good so far, using a lot of energy.
Oh, I think Elliott is gonna go for the move. No, he's not. He thought better of it. Wanted to go down the inside of Jack Hawkey for P4 in this race, but he couldn't quite make it stick. Jack Hawkey remains in P4. Elliott now has to settle for P5. These guys obviously waiting for the DRS that will be enabled from lap 17 onwards.
Yep, that's it. Oh, look at this. Defoe is through already.
Oh, and he gets it on those. He needs to make those tires work though. You can understand why he's already gone for it. He needs to push the mediums now that they are at their best. Trying to get closer to Frederick. Try to overtake him as well. And then hopefully get away at least 1 second from Frederick. But before that could happen, he firstly needs to get past. Getting close to one car is one thing. Getting past is another.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing he has got on his side is the 3-second penalty that Frederick Dawson does have. So at the moment, you know, it's very neat. But I think this is Defoe's race. He looks very strong here. He's on the right tyre. Yeah, he's going to be struggling a little bit towards the end, but it's not at all impossible. He can definitely make it to the end. And if there is a safety car later in this race, then you can always put the softs on because everyone else is going to be doing the same anyway. So I still fancy AlphaTauri, but it'll be interesting to see the pace of Frederick here.
It's going to be...
Oh, there's a bit of... Alpine of Jack Hawkey coming together. I only saw the end of it, but I think the Alfa Romeo, yes, Jack Hawkey's got wing damage. But Elliott there getting caught out. I don't know if Elliott got wing damage as well.
It seems okay. Oh, but does he get touched? No, he's not. That was close.
Yeah. Yeah, I only saw the end of it, but it looked like they were both side by side and then they just tangled up together. Yeah, the Alpine struggling. But it'll be interesting. Has he got proper wing damage or not? He's got a bit of a train behind him.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think he has, but we just can't see it. He stays out, so it's not major enough to come into the pits, but I think he will lose out a lot with the amount of damage he's got. Unless he just needed to, like, get his tires to a normal temperature. Through the corners you can see him suffering that speed that he needs to stay in front of these guys. As Brizin is now able to keep up, which he shouldn't.
Oh, Jack Hawkey's retiring.
Yeah, retiring in the pits. He's given up. Defoe has managed to stay within 1 second of Frederick, so he will get DRS, which you can see activated right now, and he can make a move on Frederick Donamo. Has to let the AlphaTauri get away. 2 seconds now is the gap.
Look at the AlphaTauri of Brizin going around the outside of Elliott Nolan, and he does it. Brizin into P5. There was like 3 battling there for that corner.
Yeah, and the point is, he gets the DRS as well for the second part of the straight, which allowed him to stay in front. Oh my days!
Massive accident! Massive accident there. We got 3 cars involved. Jay's again. Another Red Bull. Gokey is out, and the AlphaTauri. Oh, and now the Ferrari's crashed, and he's out as well. How weird's that? It's like he just turned into the wall.
Happening?
We lost 4 drivers there. PW Jones, Jays, Gokey. I wonder if the Ferrari got hit in the back.
We can see him there being on the left hand side of the... Don't drive into it, don't drive into it. Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, we lost a number of drivers. Hako, so Jack Hawkey, Hako, Gokey. Now this thing, Jack Hawkey retires.
Yeah.
He would have been back in. This thing, you should never quit in a race league game. You never know when there's a safety car going to come out. There's only 10 runners left. You'd be scoring points. But anyway, now what do you do? These guys, it's still for me. If none of these guys will have a fresh set of softs, so personally, you either put another fresh set of mediums on if you're towards the back. If you're at the front, it's a tricky one. Like if you're Frederick Dawson, do you pit for mediums?
Like, I'm wondering if they were past the pit entry when the safety car came out. It came out. Did it come out after the incident with DK and Gokey, or was it because of Jace? I assume already
it was before.
with Gokey and DK. So then,
Yeah, it was.
with it being like not even 3 complete laps, green flag and this is again. You must assume they were for the pit entry, right?
Yeah, it would have been close. It may have just
yeah.
come out, but they're
But
not
I'm
pitting.
surprised they stay out, because why would you stay out on 5 lap old hards when now everyone behind you is on... What happened to the safety car? Did you see that as well?
Yeah, it's a bit glitchy, isn't it?
But like, why would you not come in if you're on 5 lap old hards?
Yeah, it's a good question. The only thing I can think of is they don't have another fresh set of mediums, or yeah, I don't know. I'm baffled by it because if you're on the hards now, you had this massive gap to the people behind you. I guess they were just worried about losing track position, but it definitely suits Defoe on those mediums because we're going to be going again. We may not even get going again this lap because we've got someone pitting. We've got a couple of people on softs. We've got Brisen. Brisen did pit during that safety car. He put softs on. Elliott did as well because he was involved in that incident. And Max has just put on a brand new set of softs. So we got a few guys on, and Spec has put mediums on. Matty's put mediums on the lap before that safety car. So these guys, the guys from P6 to P10, arguably are going to be looking really quick now. I still think it's too early for the softs because I think all these guys who put the softs on, they're going to be worn softs. They're not going to be new softs unless these guys didn't do 3 runs. If they only did 2 runs in quali, then they will have a fresh set of softs to use for the race. But I can't remember if any of these guys did that. So yeah, we have got an interesting situation here. I don't think the safety car is going to come in this lap. I think it's going to be another lap. Yeah, it will be another lap.
Yeah, unfortunately the Alpine driver didn't caught up to the back of the field. But yeah, 10 people left in this race, so just keep it on track and you will score a point.
Yeah,
it's easy as that. Oh, Elliott. Oh, Elliott is coming into the pits. That's why he was swapping positions.
And
being on a fresh set of soft, so then going back to another. Yeah, I just wanted to say again to another set of soft tires, which are exactly on the same amount of laps.
Yeah, Matty's on softs as well now. I mean, if you've got Matty actually should have a fresh set of softs.
He does.
I don't think he didn't really do much quali, so I know Matty definitely has fresh softs. Can you put?
Yeah, Elliott is still on 2 lap old softs, so like there's been no difference. He just could have stayed out and be higher up in the field, but fair play. He's going to make it very interesting. And this is as well, Lewis, where it's extra painful that you picked up a time penalty, because
absolutely,
it's less laps to get away by at least 3 seconds. And with the people we've got left now, I think they're all pretty similar pace-wise.
Yeah.
Well, apart from the people now being on fresh softs compared to the people on the hard, but I would say like within the same compound, they are all evenly matched. And I think we will just see a sort of reverse grid where everyone at the back of the grid is going to be quicker compared to the people in the front. We've got 2 people going side by side and actually making contact. There was Brizin and Zink dash. Frederick, we've seen him doing 2 restarts already. They have been absolutely perfect. But I think the foe now knows the trick. When is Frederick gonna release the field? He's still waiting. This is normally where he went. He's holding us up for a little bit longer. And he's gonna go now. Frederick is gone. Not as big of a gap as it used to be, but a pretty good restart, as Donamo has once been caught off guard and has now been put under pressure by the McLaren going into turn 1. Oh, he was having a little bit of a look.
There's a real gap, but look at this. Brisen on those 3-lap softs with 8-lap old hards of zinc. He should be all over the back of him, and he's gonna have to make a move soon because that Alfa Romeo is also gonna be looking very close.
Round the outside.
There you go.
Oh my days.
We got a race now.
Look
Look at the
as well.
Yeah, yeah, and look at the Alpine. The Alpine of Elliott.
No way. Double move
Elliott
from
does
Elliott. You love to
Yeah.
see it. This has been
These
brilliant.
These softs are going to be absolutely manic. And now here comes Max and Matty as well. These guys are on even fresher softs. It's very close. But they're going to join the party now. And Brisen is going to eat into this because these guys on late 8-lap old hards are going to be so much slower. So interesting now.
Oh, Aston McLaren, we saw him running wide and he picks up a 3-second time penalty as well for track limits. It's Donamo now being put under pressure by Brisen, who himself is putting pressure on a McLaren. It is Brisen fighting, knowing that he is the first one on the softs. He thinks he can win this, and why not? Elliott with the fastest lap time of this race, with a double overtake as well. I think we should just keep this as the fastest lap as a reward for that overtake. Donamo can't quite get it working on the McLaren, and Brisen knows that he needs to make it count, but he will have a hard task because Donamo within another lap will get DRS from McLaren in front, and good luck with overtaking. Then Donamo got a little bit itchy on the curb, and now Donamo
Look at the speed.
needs to watch his rear mirrors, and that's what he does, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty in the process. People are picking up penalties left, right and centre.
Yeah.
It's going to be chaos, Lewis.
Brisen hasn't got 3-second penalty yet, so at this rate he's definitely P3. He could Defoe looking very strong with not having a penalty yet. Now, what do you do if you're Brisen? He's not using it. Oh, he's letting the Alpine through.
Okay.
And then he's going to dive it down the inside. Oh, he's going to lose it. They make contact, and Brisen's going to go. Thank you very much. Oh, they almost sandwiched together.
It's going wrong.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And somehow that Elliott gets back ahead of Brisen.
What is going on?
Which gives Jakob a bit of breathing space, but these soft runners are charging through. Can they catch back up? I think. It's all glitchy.
Oh,
yeah,
Elliott
I saw that
just
as well.
disappeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's just glitching.
Okay, this is.
He goes, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Very
brilliant. We will focus on the battle between P1 and P2.
Yeah.
With the DRS being enabled on this lap, we could see Defoe making a move once again within a second. He was here before the previous safety car as well. He's got 95% ERS, Lewis.
Yeah. Now DRS.
Yeah, he should be ready to get the job done. He's probably going to wait until after the fast chicane. Yeah, he's holding in. Ooh, he goes a little bit too late on the throttle. No, he's well thinking about it. He knows that the McLaren is going to be some sort of a defense for the soft runners behind. I think as soon as Elliott gets past the McLaren, he's going to make the move on Frederick.
Yeah.
Elliott is not glitching anymore. Oh, and the McLaren. Oh, that was very
McLaren's
close.
run a bit deep though. And I expect this Alpine to get past turn 3.
Here comes Elliott.
Don't dive bomb it. Don't dive bomb it. That's good.
And he's going for it now. This should be an easy move for Elliott.
Yeah. Use a bit of energy, overtake, dump it, and now you go. He has got a penalty. And look at this, Brisen round the outside as well. What a move. And the McLaren is just hold off the Alpine. But these soft runners have such pace now. We still got 5-6 laps to go. And these look how much pace these soft runners have got.
The Alpine now. He's almost pushing the McLaren through the corner. Has to go the long way around. Can he make it stick? Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. This is the moment though where Defoe needs to make a move as well. He now sees that Elliott is approaching. Although he's not losing any time compared to Elliott, to be fair.
Yeah, Elliott's actually not really gained that much on this lap to these top two.
Yeah, he's not getting any DRS, so that's why he was losing it.
Yeah.
On the straight. You see it now as well. Losing time on the straights, but as soon as we are at the end of this straight, we should see Elliott gaining time again.
It will equal out though. But Brizin here is on the course for a P2.
Yeah, 2 people in front on penalties, and he's...
Brizin is 2.3 away from the leader, so at the moment you got Defoe from Brizin, P1 and P2. Still a lot can happen.
Oh, and the Alpine. 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, and we've got the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo, Spec Dodo and Jacob. And Spec Dodo gets past. Easy move, job done. Spec Dodo up into P6, and he's now got the Alpine in front. On a penalty. Elliott on a penalty. He is on for a P3.
Yeah. Still the soft runners closing in, but they haven't got quite the same advantage as they used to. He's nearly in that DRS zone, the Alpine. Oh, he's just not quite got there, I don't think.
I don't think he's got it. No.
No, it was just out. He is within the second, but it was where the marker is. It's going to be an interesting finale here. Yeah, I think Defoe is going to be like, okay, I don't want to get involved being in a sandwich with soft tyre runners. I need to use my energy very soon.
I think he needs to, yeah.
He should have done it earlier, personally.
Yes, same.
He could get caught up. He could get caught up now because he should have done it then. Because these guys now are in DRS.
I just wanted to say you should have done it before they got into the DRS.
Yeah.
Because now they're not getting away.
And yeah, the problem is now maybe he's struggling. It's 13 laps on these mediums. Because that's the thing. It's not like these hards and mediums are in good health either. Yeah, he's...
No, true.
Oh. No.
And he's losing too much time through here to make it work.
Yeah, he's got to get a good run.
Too big.
Yeah. And here's the Alpine is going to have the grip round here. Sector 3 is all about mechanical grip. And this is where the soft runner is going to have the advantage here. Look at the speed. Will he dive bomb it? Oh, he had a thought. He had to think about it.
And Elliott knows how crucial being in P2 is for his race as well.
Yeah.
Comes Defoe, looking to defend the inside, but Elliott is too far away and he's getting DRS himself. He needs to do it now, going into turn 3. Yeah. Runs deep, going into turn 2. Bramo and Maxime.
Look at this. The Alpine's coming. Oh, he's coming. He's going to go around the outside. He'll try and squeeze him. Oh, he just somehow holds on. But Brizin had a moment in turn 1, and that's allowed the other Alpine through. Yeah, now Defoe is using a bit of his overtake.
Here comes Elliott. Look at this difference in straight line speed.
Yeah, they're now both using their overtake. And look at this, the Mercedes is going to get caught up, but he can't make the move. He can't make the move. Oh, the Alpine's round both of them. Not quite, but he's got ahead of Defoe.
This is brilliant, but here comes Defoe.
Yeah. What a race here. And you also got Maxim. Now all these people around him have got penalties, apart from Brizin.
This is perfect for Brizin, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that being a melee here.
The both AlphaTauris will now get P1 and P2 due to penalties. Yeah. That's brilliant.
Yeah. But Defoe, he's struggling. He's got 14 lap mediums. Frederick's on 15 lap now. Yeah, it's here we go then. 2 laps to go. The Alpine of Elliott all over the back of Frederick Dawson here.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of a moment. I'm watching it on board with Brizin. You can see everyone in front. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And he's just watching and see how this is going to unfold. As he knows that if it stays like this, he and himself and his teammate will be on the podium.
Yeah. They gained so much on Frederick during this section here. They just don't. I think Frederick might have a high downforce because he's really good in that fast section. Oh, that Alpine again has a moment. That's such a twitchy car, that Alpine. But the Mercedes just has enough, but he has got less energy, that Mercedes, naturally not having any DRS. Oh, and oh yeah, this is it then, the final lap.
If like Frederick, if he holds on to actually take P1 on track, fair enough. Because he has been in the lead since turn 2 and has not given it away.
In this car,
look at Brazil.
Yeah.
He got such a good exit and now gets around the outside of the Alpine. He gets himself into P4.
Yeah, looks good. Yeah, Defoe is not going to be anywhere near involved in this battle with these top two guys. He knows he'll win the race just by staying in P3. But that Alpine, here we go, and the Alpine's going to use all the energy. The Mercedes is going to use his energy, and the Mercedes got not much energy left. I think this is going to be easy for the Alpine to get around the outside, to take it easy. Frederick's going to be heartbroken with this.
Because it's not going to be a podium now.
Yeah.
That is absolutely heartbreaking for Frederick.
Yeah. And the two, we're going to get an AlphaTauri 1-2 here.
Is Frederick going for a late move maybe? No.
Nah.
And the last corner is impossible.
Yeah.
So it will be a victory for Elliott on track, but it will be an AlphaTauri P1 and P2 as they are weaving across the track. They already knew it. Absolutely scenes here in Australia, with Elliott taking the final podium spot. Absolutely heartbreaking for Frederick. Specdodo P5, the Alpine in P6. Matty takes P7 away from Jacob, who picked up a warning or a penalty again. One of the last corners. Donamo, he set the fastest lap time 1 lap ago, will finish P9 with Sync taking the final point in this race in P10. But yeah, that's Lewis. What a race without that many safety cars is bringing you some entertainment on track.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah, lovely. Nah, that is a great race there. Yeah, I think, and that is the change on this track. Personally, you can only credit you have to credit it for. But yeah, really enjoyable that one. AlphaTauri 1-2, and Elliott nicking that third spot, considering that he was at the back of the field at the beginning of this race. Fair play.
Really, really interesting podium. Of course, we saw Maxime and Vaporizer. They both started on the front row of the grid, getting caught up in an incident. Okay, with a big crash together with Jace. So a lot of the favorites were out of this race. And I feel very, very sorry for Frederick, who drove such a good race, but because of a penalty which he picked up within the first, well, I would say 4 laps of this race, kept it on 3 seconds, but still lost out on the podium. That's absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's it. He did so good, Frederick. But ultimately, you get a penalty. That's it. It's just one of those things. We've all been there. The moral of the story is to try not go off track and take advantage. So yeah, unfortunately, it's P4 for him. And he was, I think he led the race every lap apart from that last lap.
Yes, he did. After turn 2, lap 1, turn 2, he was in the lead. And he
ended up finishing 4th.
Yes, that's how crazy this race was. Donamo, like we've mentioned, taking the fastest lap in his race. You can see all the penalties on screen. We've seen the full result. It has been a really, really good race. Thank you, Lewis, for joining the commentary box with me. It was a pleasure as always.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, great race tonight. And Yeah, really enjoyed it. It's very good. So yeah, we'll be back for more at Monza next week at the
The
Temple of
Temple
Speed.
Speed. You love
Yeah.
to see it. Yes. Last week, before we go for a little bit of a break, like Lewis said, the Temple of Speed next week up on the calendar. I want to thank you all for tuning in for tonight's race. Next week, we will be back, same place, same time, same channel, for some more action here in Call of Speed Tier 1. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you everyone for racing. Thank you Lewis for joining the commentary with me. Congratulations on everyone on the podium. And as I always say, have a good one, stay safe, and good